Hello, welcome into Deb's Kitchen. I'm here with my little granddaughters today. They're off on summer break and we are going to make a very easy ground beef stew, otherwise known as picadillo. And in different Latin regions, the Philippines, they make it with different ingredients. But today I'm making you Deb's easy, budget-friendly, no fuss ground beef picadillo. Okay, today I'm going to go over our simple ingredients. We're starting off with 2 pounds of ground beef, some potatoes that I've peeled. I'm going to actually have 3 potatoes, 2 tomatoes diced, some mixed vegetables. I'm using taco seasoning, a can of Rotel chili and tomatoes diced. We have some cumin, garlic,
and water.
And might add some oregano. But in different places like Philippines, where region to region the ingredients vary. Some people put olives and raisins in it for more of a sweet savory type of dish. And a lot of them are authentic recipes call for you to stew everything. But I'm making it simple for you today. Okay, we have an onion. I'm cutting it in half to start. And as you know, I always peel off the end I don't peel off both ends because I want to make it easy to slice. And this is a tip for you newbies when you're trying to slice the onion and it's all over the board. So you basically leave one end attached. And this is what holds your onion together. And I'm using half an onion. And I'm going to cut slice. You see how the onion, it already has ridges. This is going to help us. But we're going to cut not all the way through, but we're going to cut slices down, not getting all the way to the stem. And this is going to make it easier for you to slice. And then I'm going to make one slice in the middle, about halfway. Again, not all the way to the end. And then watch how it slices perfectly in little cubes for you. And then you're ready to saute it in the oven. I mean in the Dutch oven or deep pan that you use. We're going to saute our onions in some oil. I'm using olive oil, just about a tablespoon. You can use any kind of oil you have. So I'm just going to coat it. And I basically want to start softening up my onions because I don't want them raw. Brielle's helping me put the onions in the pan. She's my little helper. For those of you who subscribe to my Facebook channel, if you want to meet Brielle cooking, she's my little sous chef and she loves to cook with her Nana. So if you go to my Facebook group with the same name in at Deb's Kitchen, that's where I test out a lot of recipes and usually Brielle's helping me. This is starting off at pretty medium-high heat, a little more on the, look at the flame like that. And I'm just going to leave it there for a few minutes. Okay, I have 2 tomatoes and I cut off the stem and now I'm cutting it in half lengthwise, as you see. Putting it down on my board. I'm going to slice it into cubes, so I just make 3 long lengthwise cuts and then cut into little cubes. And then we're going to add this to our picadillo. Okay. As you can see, if you look in, you will see that the onions are becoming translucent. That's like clear. And that's what we want. Now we're going to add in our tomatoes with Brielle's help. Tip it over, Brielle. And we're going to give that a stir. And we're going to get our potatoes ready. We have 3 potatoes and I've rinsed them off. Now we're going to peel them. And if you don't have one of these handy peelers for your potatoes, you got to get one. This happens to be a Pampered Chef brand. It's a vegetable peeler. Look how easy it makes your job. A lot of people peel like that, but I don't feel comfortable. You peel whatever way you like. But whatever way you do,
I'm okay.
it makes peeling a snap. And we're going to have a little snafus in here because I have my little granddaughter. But I'm keeping it real, and you know I always keep it real in Deb's Kitchen. So this is reality. I have my little babies in here with me sometimes.
I fell over.
And Brielle wants to learn to be a cook. And how old are you, Brielle?
5.
And she already knows how to make excellent banana muffins. everybody loves her muffins. And so I want her to learn. If your children express an interest in cooking, bring them in the kitchen with you. There's always a little job they can do. We have our potatoes peeled. They don't have to be perfect, but I'm cutting them lengthwise again, pressing them face down so that they're flat. And then I'm going to make about 4 slices because I want these to be cubed because these need to cook in our broth. And our beef stew, like I said, picadillo is basically a ground beef stew with vegetables. Whichever vegetables you use are from your region, whatever suits your fancy. See how easy that is? Now we're going to add all this to our pan. Okay, we're going to add a teaspoon of garlic. If you have fresh garlic and you prefer to use that, feel free to do that. We're going to mix this up. And then I'm going to put in my ground beef. I have 2 pounds of ground beef, and whatever you have is fine. The leaner you have, the less grease you're going to have in here. Okay, I have my Pampered Chef meat chopper. If you don't have a meat chopper and you make a lot of ground beef dishes, which I do, you definitely need to get a meat chopper. This is the Pampered Chef brand. We'll link it in the description below. The items we're using, the chopper and the peeler. And this allows you to break down your meat very easily. Okay, I have the meat pretty much chopped. I'm going to just add 1 teaspoon of my Lori seasoning salt. You can use regular salt. I prefer to use that. And I'm going to use about a teaspoon of cumin, authentic Mexican ingredient. You don't really have to add this when you're making. I'm using the taco seasoning packages, so that's fine, but I add this to give it an extra kick. Now all I'm going to do is cover this and let it cook for about 10 minutes at medium-high heat. Okay, as you can see, look how easy this meat is to break up this chopper is to break up your meat. Now, although it's not totally cooked, I want to get some of that oil off there. So we're going to come over to the colander and pour it in here to get most of that off because we don't want that in our stew. Okay, now we're back here, and as you can see, look at all that oil down there. We're going to put it back in, and now we're going to add our cubed potatoes. Riel's helping us put our 3 potatoes in here, and all we're going to do is stir these for a couple of minutes, about 5 minutes, until you start seeing them become a little bit translucent. And you can see we don't want big chunks of meat, but we want it fairly broken down. But I myself personally don't like it super broken down. I want to have some substance to mine, so it's really up to your personal preference. Okay, we have our potatoes in, so the vegetable component, a lot of people at this point add fresh carrots, fresh peas, and I do it the easy way. I have a 12-ounce bag of mixed vegetables. I personally like green beans in mine, and this has corn, and I love, who doesn't like corn? I'm going to add this 12-ounce bag. I'm going to add 2 packages of taco seasoning. This is 1 ounce pack, 1 per each pound of beef. So if you're only making 1 pound of beef, you'd only use 1. And there's different flavors. You can use your preference. This one has chorizo. El Paso has chorizo. If you like that, you can use that. My personal favorite is McCormick, but I only have 1, so I'm using this old El Paso. And then we're going to use a can of diced tomatoes. This one happens to have, this is Rotel brand. This one happens to have lime juice and cilantro. It's a 10-ounce can, or you can add your own fresh cilantro. But let's go over, we're going to add that. Okay, so I'm adding the 2 packets of taco seasoning, and this means I don't have to make that tomato, puree, onion, authentic recipe. This is the fast way when you don't have any time and you just want to get it done. This is the way to go. And you follow the instructions. I'm adding 2 cups of water. You're supposed to add 1 cup per package, but I'm adding 2 cups And this is gonna make our flavorful broth. Look how that looks already yummy. Now we're gonna add in our vegetables and our canned Rotel tomatoes. And we are basically done here, folks. Now we're just gonna put this, mix it well, and let it simmer about 20 minutes until the potatoes are cooked through and dinner's on the table. You can serve this with rice and beans. I'm going to serve this with my cilantro rice and beans. I still have the heat at medium-high because I just want to get this done. And when you're cooking like a stew, you can cook at a higher heat than when you're doing things that might scorch. But this has liquid, so 20 minutes is all it's going to take, and we're ready for dinner. Doesn't that look delicious? Okay, it's been 20 minutes, and I actually turned it down to low about 15 minutes in because it was boiling really hard. Okay, it's ready. It's going to do the taste test, and I just realized that I use the low sodium mixes. So if you have salt restrictions, that's fine, but taste it first and see if you need to add any more salt. Now a little more salt for my taste. I'm going to add about a teaspoon salt. But other than that, we're ready to go. Smells delicious. You can eat this with rice, and I'm going to be making some cilantro rice. Get some of that juice. Pour that on top of your rice. And let's try it now with the salt. It's kind of hot, so you might see me flinch. Potatoes are perfectly cooked. Yummy. So there you have it. Deb's Easy Ground Beef Picadillo in Deb's Kitchen. If you want to see more easy videos, don't forget to like and subscribe.